All right, Paul. Well, has the team got over the defeat in the end?
Yeah, they have. You know, we need to get over these things pretty quickly. I think everyone was a bit raw with the manner of the defeat straight after the game and probably on the way home. But bounce back quickly. It's in the past now, so it's all about what happens tomorrow.
Mariners, you've played them 3 times and it's been 3 defeats. I know you've got a lot of respect for their coaching staff.
Yep.
Do you want to get one over them this time?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Look, we haven't played them in New Zealand. I think that's really key. So it'll be their first visit to New Zealand and to Porirua Park. So, obviously home advantage, which we haven't had in the previous games. But I do have a huge amount of respect for what Em's done at Central Coast and just, I think we know their staff probably better than anyone else and know how much they're putting into it, and they're an extremely organised team, difficult to play against, difficult to break down. Look, it's our home game. I don't think either team's been in really great form. They've sort of been struggling a bit for form too, so it's going to be a real battle on Saturday, and hopefully we come out on top.
Do you feel like the finals are starting early, for not just yourselves, but for Mariners as well? You're in very similar position, not of the greatest form of late.
Yeah.
Both probably need the win to continue that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's kind of maybe been feeling like that for a few weeks. The wins are sort of like worth more, it feels, and the defeats like are kind of a little bit more soul destroying. So it's kind of you feel it, like we're on the edge. But as I said to them today, we'd much rather be there fighting for what we can achieve and be looking upwards as opposed to kind of like have nothing to play for and be at the bottom. And so look, for us it's great to still be in the hunt, and we're still confident that we can do it. And I think with the games that we've got, like 3 of those last 4 games at home, I think it makes a big difference. So, we're still confident.
The last 2 games at Porirua Park have perhaps been overly physical games. Do you think it has gone too far? Obviously the directive is the referees to let the game go, but is it maybe too much letting go? Yeah,
look, I do feel there's a difference between letting things go and then not bringing up fouls when they're fouls. I think, we're just really looking for consistency. There isn't that consistency at the moment, and that's kind of what we've got to strive to try and do. I think all coaches and players would be advocates of trying to let the game flow a little bit. You don't want it to be stop-start for everything or every minor thing getting pulled up. I do feel it's got to a point where maybe some of them are getting a bit out of control, and early on in games sets a tone, and when that's not picked up on and fouls are kind of like not brought up, or people are getting away with stuff that they shouldn't be allowed to get away with, then the game starts to get a little bit out of control. Players and coaches don't know where the bar is. That in turn leads to more physicality because people are pushing, and the coaches are getting more and more annoyed on the sideline because they don't know what's free kicks and what's not. So we've really got to kind of get that consistency, and I think last week was, for me, like a good example of that. Tiana's first yellow card, when you look at the footage, she barely touches the girl who's holding the ball. She doesn't push her, she doesn't shove her, she doesn't do anything overly aggressive, and yet 2 weeks before we had Adelaide players chucking our players on the ground, 2-handed shoves, no yellow cards. That's the inconsistency. And so I think we've got to aim as a league to try and get that, and we've got to do a better job to get that, so it keeps the game safe for the players, but it also makes everyone very consistent of, right, this is what it is.
What's the overall health of the squad like? We saw obviously Grace Jarley returning last week. Is she in line for more minutes this week? Yeah,
look, I thought she did great when she come on, really helped us change the game. We had a really good spell after that 60-minute water break when we put her on. I thought she had a great game actually, and had a big impact, as I say. So pushing to start this weekend, more minutes, which is great. She's been good at training. I think everyone's really enjoying having her back after a few weeks out. She's a top quality player, we know that. Excited to get her out there and combining with the other attackers, and that's going to be key for us, being able to create enough chances and score enough goals, is having those players functioning well together.
Mackenzie Barry's missed the last couple of games. Where's her foot injury at?
Yeah, it's close. I think she's potentially an outside chance of being involved, which will be great to have her back. She's trained the whole week, which is good. Potentially some minutes, but yeah, still pretty touch and go with Mac. We'll have to just see where that comes. And as I said, kind of like when it first happened, you don't want to go over the top and rush those things because then it could have ramifications for the rest of the game. So yeah, we'll take it slowly and see where she gets to.
Is it nice to know you do have cover if she isn't available, like some Maya dropping back,
Yeah.
or, Amelia Abbott, etc.?
Yeah, look, Maya's done a good job, particularly having to play centre back the last few games, which has been really important for us. And I think she's done a great job there, defended well there. So we know we can use her there, and obviously in a position that she's been playing for most of the season as a 6. We have some other full-back options as well. Zoe and Manaya, and Lara's been pretty consistent on that left-hand side. So yeah, we've still got options, and for us it's just about what we feel tomorrow is going to get the best out of the group we have and what's going to give us the best chance to win the game.
And just finally, we've spoken about it a few times throughout the season about how important the Porirua Park crowd is, and how important is it that you get that big turnout tomorrow to push the side?
Yeah, it is important. It's that connection piece we have with the fans, with the community. It kind of brings the whole club together. I think there's a really good base of people coming like every week now. We're seeing familiar faces. It's so awesome to see like the young kids, the young girls, like having that, idolising their players and having that kind of visual pathway for them. So there's lots of important parts of people being there and growing the women's game. But we also need the fans and the noise and the energy that brings us. And I think they really helped us against Western Sydney last time out. We could hear them, and it was just that constant noise. And I think as I've said before, the energy vibe goes across both, like we work off each other. So they play a big part. They're the 12th man really. So now we're into sort of 4 cup finals, and 3 of them are at home. We need them to help us get through to where we want to get to.